Lou!
He's helping it.
Very what? Try to make the video more cinematic and I hope it did its job. So today is Monday, it's sunny, but I'm not going to be too optimistic about it. I'm pretty sure it will rain. It's just the transition period between rainy season and summer right now. So Hayley and I had a little bit of a discussion as to why I own a number of microphones, and I tried my best to explain to her that each and every single one of them has a specific purpose, but I don't know if I did a good job in trying to make her understand. But then I thought it would be a great idea to try to share with you my knowledge about recording good audio for vlogs and travel videos. So I wanted to record this at a quiet place with minimal noise, but I realized that when you're traveling or when you're vlogging, you have absolutely no control of your environment, and noise is just part of it. So don't quote me on this because I'm not quite sure, but I think it was George Lucas who said that sound is half the picture. And I totally agree. Sound is probably one of the most important components in filmmaking or in videos. And when you don't have nice sound or good audio, shit. Speaking of good audio, my lav mic just slipped off my chest because I'm getting sweaty from the humidity. But anyway, yeah, I agree. Sound is absolutely half the picture. Without sound, it won't give you a proper immersive experience of you getting the feeling of being in the video. Sound absolutely affects the mood and just the overall emotion of the video. And I think it's one of the most overlooked aspects in video production and filmmaking. As a little bit of a background, I'm not a professional sound engineer, but I do have experience on mixing and mastering audio for music. And I also worked for sound on stage and theater. And a little bit of a random fact, you could hear my voice in this record. So let me start with the raw basics. In-camera audio. Most cameras are equipped with microphones to capture audio, but we all know that audio is not top priority of camera makers. And most of the time, the audio from these things, the problem with in-camera audio is that most of the time, these microphones are omnidirectional, and what it means is that it will capture sound from basically everywhere. And I think it's okay now that I'm up close to the camera, but as soon as I move out, it'll probably capture the sound from basically everywhere else and it won't be that audible anymore. But that doesn't mean that in-camera audio is completely unusable. What I do with it is I capture ambient sound and then I mix and master that sound to put on top of establishing shots. Ambient sound basically is the sound coming from the surroundings, and most of the time people will take it out and put music on top of it. And in my opinion, ambient sounds give you a layer of authenticity to your video and makes it feel like you're there and gives you a more immersive experience. My personal preference in capturing target-specific audio is a lavalier microphone. Right now I'm mic'd up with a Smart Lav Plus from Rode. There's a bunch of other options for lavalier microphones. Lavalier microphones are also omnidirectional like the in-camera microphone, but the difference with it is since it's stuck to you and mounted to you, it will capture the sound from the nearest sound source, my mouth. And it will give you better sound quality since it's up close. And what I love about it most is that since it's not mounted to the camera, it gives you complete freedom of movement, meaning I could just walk around without losing signal in here. However, the only qualm with it is that you need to sync the audio to the video in post. I'll talk about that a little bit later. One of the more popular options in capturing great audio is using this, a feather duster. No, this is a Rode NTG2 shotgun microphone, and most YouTubers that I know use a shotgun microphone mounted on top of their camera. This is from the same brand and it uses the same capsule, so it's basically the same thing. I'll plug it in to make you hear how it sounds. So we're now plugged in with the shotgun microphone. And what I love most about it is that it gives you fuller, richer audio. My qualm with it, however, is that it's clunky, it's big, and it takes a while to set up. Also, it's mounted on top of your camera, and when you're traveling, when you're vlogging, you don't really have a sound guy following you around, because this is best when it's mounted on a boom pole and a sound guy is following you around and having it as close to you as possible. Because like most microphones, this works best when it's as close to the sound source as possible. And like this, for example, as soon as I step back, right now I'm about 10 feet away from the camera, and I'm pretty sure it's picking up more of the ambient sound than me. Shotgun microphones have a super cardioid pickup pattern, meaning it will pick up sound mostly from the front, a little bit on this side, and it will reject sound from the back. What's good about it is that you could basically concentrate where you're pointing it to, but the problem is, again, mobility. For sound effects and sound design, I use the Zoom H6. This device is capable of recording up to 6 devices, meaning 6 microphones, onto different tracks all at the same time. Does that sound a little bit complicated? Well, basically 6 tracks means it gives you 6 different files separately. It also comes with 2 microphone capsules, an XY microphone and a mid-side microphone. An XY microphone is basically 2 supercardioid microphones aligned in an XY pattern, which can give you a good stereo sound. A mid-side microphone, on the other hand, as its name suggests, has 2 separate microphones as well, one taking the mid sounds and the other the side sounds. The sound recorded can then be manipulated in post, which gives you total control of how much mid or side sounds you want. This would be a good example for sound effects. So now let's factor in one very important thing: cost. A shotgun microphone typically costs around $200 to $300 for an okay one, and a lavalier microphone, the SmartLav Plus that I used, was about $75 to $80, but it could go a little bit higher. I'm not even gonna factor in the Zoom H6 because I typically use that for bigger productions and I don't really bring that with me when I travel. But if you ask me personally, the lavalier microphone would be the best option for vlogging and travel videos. It gives you decent sound with freedom of movement, and most of the time you're moving around when you're traveling or vlogging. If you want to put in ambient sounds to your videos, you could always use your camera's built-in microphone and built-in audio. But of course, if sound quality is your top priority, the shotgun microphone is really the best option. Again, my only qualm with it is that I almost forgot to explain how I sync audio in post, but that's basically what I do. I would clap my hands or snap my fingers, but right now my fingers are a little bit slippery. But that will create a spike in the audio waveform in post, and what I do is line up the 2 audio files, and that's how it's synced. I also have this monstrosity of a microphone. This is a studio condenser microphone, which I typically use for voiceover or studio work. And among all of my microphones, this is the best sounding one. But I don't normally incorporate this into the vlog because one mistake that people normally do, in my opinion, is that they mix their best sounding microphones with their okay sounding ones. What typically happens is that this will make you hear how bad this sounds or how bad that sounds. So I've talked about the types of microphones and their advantages and disadvantages, but one thing I forgot to discuss is microphone placement, which is one of the most important things. Microphone placement simply means where you put your microphone in relation to your sound source. So lavalier microphones are best tucked in under a shirt near the mouth, and a shotgun microphone is best boomed closest to the sound source as much as possible. Like I previously mentioned, most microphones capture the best sound when they're very close to the sound source. You also have to take note of your levels and make sure that they don't clip. Best practice is to record your audio peaking at about -6 dB. So you've captured great videos, recorded excellent audio. Now we go into post-production. Audio mastering in post-production is a really broad topic to cover, but in my opinion, there are really 2 concepts you need to cover. The first one is controlling your levels using compressors and limiters, and the second one is EQ. Once you've brushed up on these 2 topics, I think you're basically good from there. So when mixing audio, emphasis should always be on the voice or voices. You should also carefully pick your background music because that typically dictates the mood of your video. Finally, for sound design and sound effects, always remember that subtlety is the key. You don't want your sound effects to jump out and attract unwarranted attention for itself. The objective is to make it blend with the visuals and make it seem like it's normal, as if it's happening on our day-to-day lives. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I do to make my videos, and I'm happy to share it with you. And that's where I'm gonna end the vlog today.